Hello, and welcome to the ninth and final video of my series, Danny on Clarinet. Today, we're going to be talking about the chromatic scale in conjunction with crossing the break. So, rather using the chromatic scale as a way to practice crossing the break. So, the first thing to think about when crossing the break is kind of feeling what the clarion register feels like in our embouchure. So, just to get a sense of that, let's start on a middle C, and we are going to just add the register key while playing that middle C. And when we add the register key, it's going to bring our note up an octave plus a fifth. So up a perfect 12th to a G above the staff. Let's play half notes. Play a half note C, and then hold our clarion G above the staff for 4 beats, just to get a sense of what it feels like in our embouchure to play up in that register. So we're going to finger our C with our left hand thumb and first 3 fingers down, and then add that register key, being sure not to take our thumb off of the thumb hole and keeping a tight seal to play our clarion G. So half notes. 1, 2, ready. Good, let's try that one more time. Nice. So now that we have a sense of what it feels like to play in the clarion register, and something that can help with getting those notes to speak is taking a little bit more mouthpiece in your mouth. Sometimes if you're squeaking or really not be able to produce a tone, you could just take a little bit more mouthpiece in and really make sure that your bottom lip is up against the reed, creating that vibration. Let's talk about the chromatic scale. So when we're moving up the C, we're going to play a 1 octave C chromatic scale, which goes right over the break and up into the clarion register. Some of the fingerings can be quite tricky, but we're going to go over them. We have our C, and for our C sharp, we're just adding this pinky key right underneath our C. And then here is so we have C, C sharp, D, and for our D sharp or E flat, we're going to add this other key that's right below the G. So here's our D, D sharp, E, and for our F, we're going to take our first finger off. F sharp, we're going to switch the thumb and the first finger. So thumb and first finger switch for F sharp. Now we have our open G. Now we move into the throat keys where we have A flat, which is our side key. And we have A, which is the front little teardrop key right here. And then we're adding our register key for the B flat. So going from A up to B flat, and here is where we cross the break. Now, a good tip for crossing the break is once you get up into this throat register, you can throw down your right hand keys just to get them started, and you can put them down like we're going to finger an F, because the right hand can handle that B natural. So this is actually would be a D, or excuse me, this would actually be a C in the clarion register with this fingering, but we can play that B natural using this note, and we can play our C sharp using these pinky keys. So having our right hand down in this position before we cross up into the break is a really good tip to try to get our fingers down, because the hardest thing with crossing the break is not only the embouchure, but actually physically moving your fingers into the position, because that's what causes most of the squeaks and difficulties when it comes to moving up into the break. So why don't we just go through this chromatic scale slowly. First, let's finish some of these fingerings. So we cross into the break. So now we have our register key down, and we have all of our fingers down, including our left hand pinky, which is on the innermost key for that B natural. we have our B natural, and then we take off our pinky for the C, and then for C sharp, we're just moving over to this left-hand pinky key right here. So we have B natural, C, C sharp, and then our pinky off for our D, and then for D sharp, we can come in here and hit this pinky key right below the D. So similar to what it's like up here where you're hitting this key for the D sharp, you're going to be hitting this key for the D sharp. Then we move up to E with our 2 fingers down. F, we just peel our middle finger off. For F sharp, we switch our pointer and our ring finger. So we have our ring for F sharp. Then we have a G with just our left hand and our pinky floating. For G sharp, we put down the pinky right underneath. It's just like the C sharp, but adding the register key. So just like the C sharp, we come up to our B flat. Sorry, 1 second. We come up to our A, excuse me. And for our B flat, we add this little thing right underneath the A. So B flat, B natural is just our thumb on the register key in the thumb hole and the first finger. And then for C, we just take off that pointer finger, and then we have our thumb over the thumb hole and the register key. And then on the way back down, we're just making sure to add these little keys that float under these notes for these chromatic ascending notes. We're just got to make sure that we're putting down both of these and then peeling off of the little key. Same thing here, we're putting down our middle finger first, then our pointer, and then moving all the way down. So, and then when we get down to the E flat, we have to make sure to put down our pinky and our ring before we peel off the ring for the D. Similar to when it gets down after we cross down, cross the break moving downwards. So let's move through this chromatic scale really slowly, paying attention to get our right hand down into that C position as we're up in the throat register, so that the only thing we need to do to cross over the break is throw our left hand down, and our right hand is already in position. So let's start on our middle C and work our way up over the break. Nice, and you could hear that I had a couple of pretty obvious cracks and squeaks throughout that, but those were largely due to me either half covering a hole too early or not having all of the holes entirely covered. But the chromatic scale and moving through it slowly is a great way to practice getting all of our fingers down and in a smooth and even manner. And the biggest tip for crossing the break, again, is just having our right hand down in the C position as we move up to that B flat, so that we just throw our left hand down for the B. But that's it for this video, and that's it for my series, Danny on Clarinet. So I hope overall everybody got something out of the short little lessons that I had to offer, and I hope I did an okay job of explaining some of these concepts, as I am a beginner too on the clarinet. But I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much. I will see you all soon.